Good morning and welcome to BizTech's Conversations. Our guest today is the Egyptian ambassador to Malaysia, His Excellency Gamal Metwally. I'm Brian Fernandez, and thank you very much, Your Excellency, for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for giving me such a chance to talk about my country and to talk about some other topics in the interest of your esteemed station.
So, Your Excellency, let's start with talking about the current state of diplomatic relations between our two countries. How would you describe them?
In fact, Egypt started the relation with Malaysia immediately after the independence of Malaysia, and since then we are having friendly and cordial relationships in all fields, political, economic, and cultural too. I may say that Egypt used to receive students from Malaysia even before the independence of Malaysia. We have received students studying in Al-Azhar since 1928.
Oh, I didn't know it stretched for that long, but
yes.
It's been an ongoing thing for many years.
Right. So the relations is excellent. We are having excellent ties in all fields. We used to exchange support for our candidatures in the international and regional organization, and this is an indication how the relations is excellent.
And do we also have students, large numbers of Egyptian students who study in Malaysia as well?
According to the latest statistics, the Egyptian students in Malaysia now, they are almost 3,000 students. Mainly they are both in public and private universities, studying engineering, studying medicine, some of them studying economics. So, and at the same time, Malaysia is having almost 14,000 students in Cairo, in Egypt.
So what are the 14,000 Malaysian students studying?
They are 50% of them, 7,000, they are studying in Al-Azhar.
Okay.
They are studying Islamic affairs and Arabic language. The other 7,000, they are studying in the public universities in Egypt, mainly in the field of medicine, pharmacy, and dentistry.
Okay, that's interesting. That's I think I didn't realize the numbers were so large.
Egypt is the fourth, either the third or the fourth destination to the Malaysian students after USA, UK, Australia.
See, that's interesting. So could you then give us an overview of the Egyptian economy today? What are the key sectors and what are the key sectors of growth?
The Egyptian economy is doing well as we have started an economic reform program in 2016.
That's right, and in fact the numbers, the actual numbers are very, very good. In 2019 your GDP was up about 5.6%, but the preceding 3 years the average was about 4.6%. So you are really on an uptrend.
Correct. And we were targeting in 2020 for the economic growth to be between 5.8 up to 6%. But unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 problem, now our expectations are a little bit going down. So we are looking forward to achieve this year, 2020, 5.6, 5.5, something like this.
Okay, that's still very, very good.
Yes, yes.
How is that going to impact your budget deficit? Because in the preceding year, 2018, your budget deficit was about 9.7%. It's
right.
come down in 2019 to about 8.1%.
Now it is 7.3.
7.3. Despite the COVID, that's
right,
the target.
Right. Because, mainly the sectors which are driving the Egyptian economy is tourism, construction, oil and gas, plus some other sectors. So these sectors are doing well for the time being, and as I said, we have succeeded to decrease the unemployment rate. Now it used to be 13% 2018, now it is 7.8.
But one of the challenges, I think, with the Egyptian economy is the fact that youth unemployment is very, very high, much higher than those numbers suggest.
It is correct, but by establishing new mega projects in Egypt, in Suez Canal zone, and in the new administrative capital, we are establishing a new job opportunities. So such opportunities are accommodating many young people, and the sector of construction also is receiving a lot of workers. That's why the rate in Egypt is going down. I mean, unemployment rate is going down from 9.4%, now it is 7.3%.
And also, one of the things that the government is doing domestically is to increase the amount of cash payments through your Takaful and Karma scheme. Can you tell us more? And that's part of a COVID coping strategy.
It has started immediately. This program, Solidarity and Dignity. This is the translation in English.
Okay.
Solidarity and Dignity. This program started immediately after we have signed the economic reform program with the IMF, just to accommodate and to control the influence of such reform on the poor people. So, for example, this program, when it has been started in 2016, it covered almost 200,000 households. Now we are talking about 2.3 million households.
So you've dramatically expanded the coverage.
Right.
Now, if you look at from the domestic politics point of view, President Sisi has been criticized externally for one of the things is the fact that the second term of office which he was elected was, the elections were seen as unfair. Subsequent to that as well, foreign criticism has been that he has clamped down on dissent and journalism and journalists and essentially used the rule of law and basically imposed his own agenda on it. Could you share with us your side of the equation?
I may disagree with the question in some parts. First of all, the President El-Sisi now, he was elected twice in free elections. The first one, it was 2014.
Yes, that's right.
And the second one, 2018. And there were many candidates. They were competing the president in the presidential election. So it's kind of media propaganda against the Egyptian regime for the time being. By the way, if our president is not freely elected, how he will be accepted from the other leaders all over the world? He is going to Europe, he's going to USA, he's going to Asia, and he is receiving a lot of leaders from the countries all over the world. So if all these leaders are visiting Egypt and are contacting our president, it means they are recognizing that he is a freely elected, and there is no any problem at all to deal with such president, as he is representing the people of Egypt. The people of Egypt voted for him. The majority of the Egyptians, they are supporting the president. So I think whatever has been published in the foreign media is not reflecting the facts and the realities inside Egypt.
Perhaps we could also look at his acceptance is the fact that Egypt plays a very important role in Middle East politics, is a regional power broker. So perhaps his acceptance by foreign powers and overseas is due to that fact, the fact that Egypt is so important in the global geopolitical chess game.
Believe me, if our president is not freely elected, even though with the role of Egypt in Middle East area and in the whole region, he is, by the way, he was the chairman of the African Union for 2019-2020.
Yes.
So, and you may know that Egypt, after the revolution in 2011, our membership in the Security and Peace Council of African Union was suspended.
Yes.
But immediately after we organized the presidential election in 2014, we succeeded to come back with full capacity in African Union, which means that the African countries and neighbors, they are recognizing that we are having how to say, democratic regime which was elected by the people of Egypt. So we succeeded to organize 2 presidential elections, 1 legislative election. Now we are having, and recently we organized another legislative election for the Senate of Egypt. A new Senate, a new House is going to start its work very soon, so to support the House of Representatives.
Now, how about, let's move on to Asia, where we are at in terms of Egypt's foreign policy. On the private sector side, you see engagement from Egyptian thinkers and businessmen like Ashraf Nagrib, pushing the agenda of his global think tank, Global Trade Matters. And it's all about engagement with Asia. What's the official strategy?
Asia succeeded to make a real breakthrough in different fields, in technology, economy, investment. So most of the Egyptian businessmen now, they have started to divert their attention to the Asian countries. I may refer to a visit to the Egyptian Malaysian Businessmen Council. They have organized a visit recently in November 2019 to Malaysia. Very prominent businessmen. They came here in order to discuss, I'm just giving an example, Malaysia as an example. They have came here, they made some meetings with official Malaysian officials, with the businessmen society, with Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So they came here mainly just to explore more fields to be invested here in Malaysia, and also to attract the Malaysian businessmen to invest in Egypt. As I said, Egypt now, we are having a lot of mega projects, and the door is open for all foreign investors. And Malaysians, definitely, they are welcomed to come to invest more in Egypt, as they are having now many investments.
Like Petronas. I think Petronas is about $4 billion of US dollars in investments.
Yes. And they are, the vice president of Petronas, he visited Egypt recently before COVID-19 problem, and he discussed with the Minister of Petroleum there just to add more investments in Egypt, especially in the Red Sea area.
And what specific projects or opportunities are there for Malaysian companies to invest in?
A lot. For example, we are talking about the palm oil field. We are talking about petrochemicals.
When we talk about palm oil, are you, and when we look at the balance of trade, where are the key things, what are the key things Egypt is buying from Malaysia and vice versa?
The trade balance between both countries, almost 700 million per year. The trade balance is in favor of Malaysia, who is almost 600 and 100 from the Egyptian side. The 700, the main products Malaysia used to export to Egypt is palm oil. It is almost like 80%. Also some electronics, petrochemicals. For Egypt, we used to export phosphate, fertilizers, some fruits, juices, some other commodities, but mainly phosphate and fertilizers.
So coming back to the question said about opportunities itself, to invest, and you talked about opportunities to invest in palm oil, processing and stuff like that. Am I right? In Egypt itself, could you elaborate on that? Some of those projects that you said in the Red Sea and stuff that are opportunities.
Yes, in Egypt we have established a very big mega project in Suez Canal area zone. Such area is going to receive a lot of investments in all fields.
Why? What is the strategic part of that?
Because Suez Canal is the waterway.
And that we understand, but why would investors go, and specifically in this project, there's a lot of competing areas in the Middle East and Africa?
No, because if you will go there, Egypt will be the gateway for your products to Africa and to the Arab world and to Middle East areas and also to Europe. So it will be more easy for you if you be going to invest there, to export your products easily, not only for the local consumption of the Egyptian market, but some other markets. And by the way, it was the aim of the Ministry of Primary Industries here to establish some projects in palm oil, as it will be the hub. I mean, the Egyptian will be the hub for the palm oil of Malaysia to be distributed to the African countries and to the Arab countries.
So it sounds like from the low-lying fruit in terms of opportunities here is to use that as a logistics hub. Am I correct in saying that?
Correct.
So for Malaysian traders, whether it is halal goods, whether it is processed palm oil and things like that, those are some of the opportunities.
It will be more easy, instead of exporting the palm oil from Malaysia to Africa,
yes,
from here to there.
Okay.
Then it will be more easy for you if you will be having a factory there, and then you will be exporting the products directly to the African countries.
Okay, and how about, you talked about opportunities.
I mean geographically it will be more easy for you.
Yes, of course. But you also talked about opportunities in large infrastructure projects and construction.
Right.
Are there private-public partnership type projects, or is this pure construction projects? How are the projects going to be structured?
It is mixed, by the way. It is private sector with the public sector in Egypt, and they are doing fantastic job in the field of infrastructure, roads, bridges, tunnels.
And where is Egypt getting the money for all of this to fund this?
It is private investments.
Okay.
Private investments.
Okay, understood. And Your Excellency, given you've been in Malaysia for the last 2.5 years, what do you think are your key achievements in terms of facilitating trade and commerce between our two countries?
As I said, I succeeded to organize the visit of the Egyptian-Malaysian Businessmen Council in November 2019. Again, Matrade, under the umbrella of MITI, they have organized a businessman delegation to Egypt also in recently, 4 or 5 months ago. 12 companies, 18 businessmen from Malaysia. They visited Egypt for 1 week. They have organized there an economic forum for Malaysia, Egypt. So we are trying just to give both sides the facilities in order to come together again. As, for example, the visit of the Egyptian businessmen, Malaysian Egyptian Businessmen Council, it came after 10 years. So you can imagine, we are trying to restart again the contacts between the two businessmen in both countries.
Absolutely, because it takes time. Again,
Right.
and you need to do it. I mean, it's not one visit and opportunities happen. It's got to be different activities over a period of time in order to see the fruits of it.
And unfortunately, the speed is going down due to COVID-19.
No, of course. And so, Your Excellency, and it's my final question, what are your objectives moving forward? You're going to be in Malaysia for another 1.5 years, am I correct?
Right.
So what are your key objectives and for the next 1.5 years?
First of all, to revive the role of the Egyptian Malaysian Businessmen Council. It is because till now the Malaysian side didn't appoint the president for the Malaysian side. So it is very important, because once we'll be having the president of the Malaysian side, then the contacts between both sides will be more easy, and it will open new horizon for the investments, trade, everything. The second target is to attract more Malaysian students to study in the Egyptian universities, and also to attract some Egyptian students to study in Malaysia. So investment also is another field. So we are focusing on three sectors: education, trade, and investment.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for coming on the show. I'm Brian Fernandez, and we've been speaking to His Excellency Gamal Metwally, Egypt's ambassador to Malaysia, on BizTech Conversations. And for more business and technology conversations, please go to www.biztech.asia.